Over time, animals have developed a variety of methods to kill their prey and defend themselves from attack. These responses to hunger and survival make up the undercoat of many colourful ecosystems, and they fuel much of the drama that unfolds in the wild. Exploring these elements through the eyes of the crew, this is another story of our epic Earth. The annual sardine run takes place off South Africa's eastern coastline and becomes the arena for some of the natural world's most brilliantly choreographed attacks. The Earth Touch film crew are there to capture the predators in action as they mass to attack the sardines. Millions of these small fish follow a stream of cold water far from their usual habitat and straight into the mouths of many predators, both from the depths and from above. Beneath the waves, common dolphins deploy a very crafty means of attack. Using their sonar as a carefully orchestrated weapon, they whip Not to be outdone, a variety of sharks jump in for an easy meal.
I'd never seen gannets diving on any sort of scale like this, hitting the surface of the ocean like a missile. And the attack on this shoal of sardines is just relentless. And the ocean becomes quiet again. Further up the South African coast in Sodwana Bay, the sun rises on a calm, peaceful ocean. But beneath the surface, on the coral reefs, creatures fight for survival and have developed an astonishing arsenal of weapons for attack and defense. This is the devil firefish. Its striking good looks belie the fact that it is one of the most poisonous fish on the reef. When threatened, it will not hesitate to deploy a number of defensive strategies, starting with the deadly barbs on its back.
An amazing array of spines adorn this creature, all venomous, very toxic protein poison. Using its broken up outline to startle prey, sucking in small fry with its big mouth.
Their method of attack is evident in the large mouth, and sucking prey in whole is the preferred technique. Reef communities are crowded and tight-knit. Prey live in close proximity to predators, and during the day, everything is calm. A sharp-nosed stingray hides beneath a ledge. They conceal themselves well, but the twin barbs on the tail are potentially lethal weapons for anything that gets too close. The protrusive eyes are perfect for spotting any incoming threat. And whether lying up in a cave or out on the open sand, it always has the option of breaking cover. Even in the shallow waters of the rocky intertidal zone, defense tactics are vital. This is the domain of the sea urchin, a creature partial to temperate seas, like those of the Indian Ocean. With masses of bristling spines, they resemble giant pincushions, a very convenient defense weapon when you consider that they're preyed upon by a wide variety of creatures. Not being able to move at speed and being exposed, the urchins have had to develop a fortress around themselves, and the needle urchins have done this very well.
These needle urchins wave the spines quite aggressively at would-be intruders into their personal space, and as you can see, quite formidable barbed spines.
Each has to cater for defense against a variety of predators, and hence the customized weapon arrays. It would take a brave and hungry animal to get through these defenses. Moving out of the sea and onto a small Indonesian island, camera director Paul Myberg battles his way up the slopes of Rinca. He's here to film the habits of a creature that gives a whole new meaning to the words cold-blooded killer. The Komodo dragon. Here on the islands of Indonesia, Komodo dragons have no natural predators. All the creatures that inhabit the island are fair game for this reptile that has one of the most infamous reputations in the world. Because the dragons do not need to defend themselves against anything, they are built solely for the attack. They are enormous. Adult males can reach 3 meters in length. They're armed with powerful jaws of sharp serrated teeth. Not to mention a highly developed sense of smell that can detect dead or injured prey from more than 10 kilometers away.
Always the tongue, testing the air, tasting, processing that information. They watch me. And now they start to move through the grass, going at speeds of 8-10 kilometers or so. But this creature is capable of going up to 18 kilometers an hour, and that's fast enough to catch you. The ever-present saliva, just a reminder of the extreme toxicity of this creature.
Because of its carrion-rich diet, the Komodo dragon's saliva contains 50 different types of bacteria, and its bite is highly infectious. There is no cure for its victims. Water buffalo and Timor deer are regular items on the dragon's menu. This buffalo has already been bitten, and so has this terrified Timor deer. The buffalo drinks endlessly, obviously feeling the fire of the bacterial poison in its blood. The deer's fate too is sealed. It kicks at its attacker repeatedly, but half-heartedly. Recent discoveries have shown that dragons do in fact have venom, which causes a rapid drop in their victim's blood pressure. This may explain why the deer is unable to move fast or run away. An hour later, and the scene is totally different. The deer has succumbed, and the dragons tear at its half-eaten carcass. This is how it is for these creatures. Its method of attack is ancient and instinctive. And it's ensured their survival for at least 25 million years. The rhinoceros is one of the icons of the African bush. Its most distinctive feature is its magnificent horn. With more than 1,000 kilograms of motivated force behind it, the horn is a fearsome weapon. While white rhinos are relatively docile, the black is an irritable hulk of twitching muscle. These creatures have a variety of uses for their horns. Sometimes they're useful in getting access to sweeter leaves. But often they're specifically for defense, and for the black rhino, the best form of defense is attack. Camera director Paul Myberg discovered firsthand this side of the black rhino in the Hlhlui Umfolozi Park. Paul was tracking this black rhino on foot, and the situation was already tenuous, as the creature wasn't in a good physical state, often a cause of great irritability.
This belligerent, curious creature that knows only two habits, either runs at you or runs away. Nothing in between. And then without the slightest warning, just moves in fast and stops.
Africa is synonymous with the image of horns and tusks. These appendages represent strength, dominance, and survival for their bearers. Even warthogs are respected by other animals. They are rightly wary of the damage their tusks can inflict. Here, a young cheetah has wandered far too close to a warthog family, and there are young ones about. At first, the cheetah stands its ground. Warthogs are having none of it, and the matriarch storms in, seeing the cat off in no uncertain terms. Her instinct to protect her young is a powerful motivator to attack. Botswana's Moremi Game Reserve is the arena in which frequent tactical battles take place. Brad Besterlink has been tracking the relationship between lions and buffaloes for almost 2 years. Every morning at first light, he goes in search of the next chapter in this story. He finds a big herd of buffalo at rest. These groups form strong units that operate collectively. Along with their size and strength, their horns have been the weapons with which great armies have gone into battle. What makes this morning so dramatic is that one of the most dangerous beasts in Africa is about to meet another.
We found them in the really early morning after the really big herd of buffalo. They snuck off into the Mopani and were sort of waiting and trying to pick up the stragglers that were coming through the Mopani.
The buffalo is immobilized quickly, and the pride try to puncture the spinal column. The herd hasn't retreated far. The big male moves to the throat, and it seems the end is near. As Brad watches, suddenly the herd makes its move. Forming a united front, the buffalo drive the lions off their fallen comrade. Then, Forming a defensive laager, the herbivores keep the lions at bay while the fallen bull regains its strength. It's an incredibly coordinated defense, where strength in numbers and the most intimidating pair of horns in the African bushveld prevail against the apex predators. Amazingly, the wounded bull is freed by the herd. Nature's weapons are potent, but they're all used within a certain context for a defined reason. Whether killing to eat or repelling a threat, the array of hardware fits the battle well. And no matter how small, these mechanisms are both powerful and persuasive. When it comes to the ever-changing balance of power, the pendulum of attack and defense within the natural world moves rhythmically throughout time. It's the very heartbeat of the terrain on which the action unfolds.